Welcome to another episode from our show, Anything Goes. Saying sorry. When and how? The last time you were wronged or you wronged somebody, how easy was it to say sorry? Did you mean it when you said it? And how did you say it? Did you think it was accepted, your apology I mean? Or because you think the other person will not accept it, you don't want to offer it to begin with? These issues and many others need to be discussed. And I'm happy to have my friends today, Chris, Marianne, and Sarah, who will try to help me help you apologize. So I want to ask you guys, if I would say, I faulted you, Marianne, and I come and say, you tell me, for example, Hani, you did wrong. You were wrong when you said that. I didn't like the way you spoke to me. What is expected of me? How do I say it? And what is the wrong way of saying it? Any of the questions can be answered in any order.
So you, as the person I'm speaking to and directing my feelings
I'm the one who hurt your feelings.
Okay.
So what do you expect of me of an apology? How? And when does it is completely meaningless to you?
I would expect understanding, simply for how I feel. Not necessarily that you would agree, but just simply for how I feel. When it would...
No, wait. I like that. So let's speak on this one. So are you trying to say that even if I don't agree with the reason for which you got upset, the mere feeling of you upsetness, of you got upset, I have to apologize? Is that okay?
I'm not...
I have a very big rebuttal against that point, if that is what you agree to.
She didn't agree yet.
I don't know yet, but now you know that.
But go ahead with your rebuttal then.
Well, my rebuttal is from, you're feeling sorry, you're feeling upset because they hurt you because of a certain point. Not because, of course, in this situation, you guys are great friends and you care for each other. So obviously, you are going to be, sorry that she feels hurt. But if you have a different point than what she got upset about.
I didn't get anything of what you said.
You just argued both sides.
No.
I thought you were rebuttaling.
I also think you're saying the exact same thing she's saying.
No, but I'm not saying, I wouldn't be, she's content with saying sorry.
I think you should apologize and start again. Go ahead.
I apologize.
Okay. Say it again.
Anyway.
Simple words to the point.
So, as I understood it, originally, you said, in this situation, you would be okay if Uncle Hani apologized for not what he did, but that he's sorry that you feel upset because of your feelings. Maybe without even understanding exactly what he did, he's just sorry. He's saying, sorry because you're upset.
And you disagree.
But he disagrees. He doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. Let's just say it.
Okay.
So you would feel okay with him not admitting that maybe I shouldn't have done that, but just saying, I'm sorry for upsetting you. Is that right? Do you understand me?
Right, but it's now on you, so tell me what your rebuttal is. So do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
No, that's obviously, I would think that he would care and be apologetic about me being upset, but my real core of being upset is because we have a disagreement.
Okay.
And that's what I would want him to apologize about.
Okay.
So you okay with that?
Yeah.
That the apology will be missing a major component. Basically, I'll tell you, Marianne, if that made you upset, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings.
Right.
But do you know why you're apologizing? Tell you the truth, I don't see the reason why are you upset.
Okay, that's fair. But I didn't even say we had a conversation yet. So for me, you asked me, what would I expect from you off the bat, right? When I came to you and I said, this is how you made me feel. What do I expect? I expect understanding. I didn't talk about apology yet.
Okay.
Okay?
She is a lawyer, by the way, so...
Okay. All right. So the first thing, I should understand, why are you upset?
Right. It's not you attacking me and saying, okay, you have no reason to feel that way. Don't attack my feelings, because you should understand that I felt a certain way. Okay. That's my first point.
So the first base for anyone...
Any conversation is just understanding.
Going into the concept of apology, if the person is hurt, accepted, admitted, you cannot minimize my feelings because you think your mistake should have not made me upset.
Right.
If I'm upset, I'm upset. Yeah. You cannot tell me, well, what is that? I mean, that's so childish. Why are you upset?
Right.
And I'll tell you.
Sir, are you agreeing with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
let's move to the next base of the pyramid. Now, you are trying to tell me the first step, understand me, but the second step...
Let's talk about what happened.
Let's talk about what happened.
Yes. Because you're not going to necessarily always agree. There are things that happen where I'll take it one way, or I might be a little sensitive, and you took it another way, or you didn't have, the intentions I thought you did.
So, but I may completely have a different understanding now after you told me why you're upset. I would say, you know what, but I still don't agree with you. Why should you be upset?
And that's fine.
Is that fine? Chris, are you rebuttaling this?
I'm going to have to rebut this. I mean, because to say it is fine is one thing. But truly, in our hearts, we're like, okay, I'm hurt. You need to understand my point.
We got that. We understand your point.
But there's still a disagreement.
So you're telling me every single time someone has come up to you and said, look, I don't like that you did that, you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and I completely understand how you feel, and I know I did something wrong. You always agree with them?
No. If I didn't agree with them, I would tell them, I don't agree with you, and there needs to be a solution here, miss.
Which is why what we're saying is that he doesn't agree that he hurt me.
Yeah.
He doesn't agree that his actions even were intentionally like that.
I don't like the way you're approaching me right now.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know how I feel.
Oh wow.
I forgive you. I'm just kidding.
I take it back.
Okay, I'll make peace later on. But
thank you.
But let's get to we need to have a working plan here.
That's not true. Okay.
I didn't get what are we talking about again from you. This is the last time you're attending my program. But anyway, what happened now? She told you, let us talk about it. I understand how you feel, Marianne. I'm very sorry you are upset. I truly am sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Okay, let's talk about it. Sarah, we start talking about it, and you are the one who hurt, say, Marianne's feeling. We're all picking on you today. And you find, Marianne, but you misunderstood me. Is that okay? She will take the apology back.
I sort of feel that way. When someone says, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you shouldn't feel that way. That's essentially like saying, like, why do you feel, like, you're making the person feel small by saying, like, why do you feel that way? That's ridiculous for feeling that way. So the initial, like, sorry you're feeling that way doesn't mean anything.
Every time you got a person upset, you apologized and you understood why the person got upset, and you agreed in all angles and all times that you agreed you are always wrong in this particular occasion.
Absolutely not.
No.
So then when you guys talk about it and you laid the apology because I'm hurting your feelings, I'm ready now to understand why you are hurt, there may be times that you have to explain where you stand. You are not retracting your apology. You are not lessening the sorry, feeling sorry, but you are making Chris understand, Chris, I still am feeling sorry, but believe me, when I said what I said, what I meant is so and so. Is that part of the plan of apology, or the plan of apology stops at a certain word? Because if it goes beyond, we may go in two separate ways again. You were very passionate about this, so I want you to think about it. But
I think it's also depending on the relationship of the two people, because if it's not something that you're really willing to go into much of a discussion about, you don't really know this person, you can just keep it moving. But if I care about the person, which in all these scenarios, when I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking of someone I care about, I definitely think if I don't bring up my point of view, then it's pointless.
Yeah.
So
I
it could
have to
happen
bring up my
again.
point of
Uncle Hani, I have a point. Okay, so personally, if I'm going to, I have no problems apologizing to someone if I've hurt their feelings. If I've hurt their feelings and I know I've hurt your feelings, I don't have a problem apologizing. But if there is an underlying issue, then that's when my ability to apologize might be hindered. And if that person doesn't want to meet me halfway, then I have, just in their approach, for instance, then I have a very hard time. Like, I'm already coming halfway by initiating a conversation of apology. But if that person doesn't want to meet me too, then I feel like, what's the point?
But are you forgetting you are the one who faulted her or him? Why do you meet me? Why should I meet you halfway? You should do the whole way.
Well, maybe in that particular situation. But if there's an underlying issue where then yeah, like that person should come.
How do you know there's an underlying?
But I think communication is key. You got to speak about the
Cool, very nice. So there are people, when they get upset, they don't want to talk about it. Very important point, that apology needs or is driven by talking about things. But I don't want to leave your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but communication is key, but it's also about compassion in a friendship. Like, there has to be compassion there to, if you feel like, even if your friend doesn't want to necessarily tell you that they're upset when they're upset at the time, and they feel like you've hurt their feelings, then it's on you as a friend to have compassion and to initiate a conversation. That's it. Like, it's on you to reach out to that friend, and you don't ask them. It's not always like you have to wait for this whole dramatic thing of are you, for them to say, oh, I'm upset with you, and it's not always going to happen that way. And that's what I meant by meeting halfway.
Do you agree with that?
I think so. Just because sometimes your feelings are actually really hurt, and it's very difficult for you to go and approach the person. So if the person is aware, right, if you're aware that your friend is upset, I think it's equally that person's responsibility to come up to you and ask.
You don't think if you made a person upset, you should go without the person telling you I'm upset from you?
No, that's sorry, we're talking about a lot of persons.
No, I know.
But that's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the person that hurt, right, should go and approach. That's usually how it is. I think there are people who, they're much stronger than I am, that are able to come and approach the person and say, look, you hurt my feelings. Or look, you did this and it upset me. For me personally, I think that's hard.
Me too.
All right, for not me, really, Uncle Hani, I have a point. I have a question I would like to pose to the group, to my mentor, my fellow, friends, and well, of course. What happens here if you, you tell imagine, in this situation that you said is hard, right? Let's say something really bothered me. Young friend, I am really upset and bothered by the way you treated me. What happens now if you get upset at me because you don't understand my point, or that what I'm upset about kind of upsets you. What do you do there? You know, like, I don't know if that makes much sense, you know, because I haven't been making sense previously. But I'm just wondering, when you go out of your way to say, this hurts me, in this example.
And it backfires.
And exactly. And how do you handle that? Like, in a way that is supposed to be going in peace and...
And by the way, to add to this dilemma, there are people who have done this once or twice and backfired, and now they shut completely.
Oh, exactly.
And they get upset, they withdrew, and we don't know what's happened to her. We don't see her, we don't see him. Oh, and then later on, many months, weeks after, we find that this person got hurt, and because of this experiences, they don't even talk about it. So that's a very legitimate point. What do we do about that?
It's a personality clash. Like, it's a personality clash, and in order to make the friendship work, there has to be, like, both parties have to give in a little bit. Because if you have two stubborn people that both of them have issues and they don't want to approach each other, or they get mad at each other for the other getting mad at the other, and like this whole cycle, then obviously no one's going to want to talk to the other person. They're going to distance themselves and be mad forever. But there has to be some humility. Like, there has to be some lowering yourself down and really just meeting halfway. Otherwise, it's not going to work. The personalities are too much the same.
Okay.
I think it comes down to, again, communication, and I completely agree with what Sarah's saying, but I do know that in the long run, if you are able to kind of like lower yourself and like try it again and again, and the person keeps kind of hurting you and keeps kind of upsetting you, and, you know, in return, you're like, okay, well, let's talk about this, and the person themselves, like, they just either don't have the communication skills, kind of don't like confrontation, or they, again, keep hurting you. I think in wisdom, it's time to distance yourself. Like,
it's time to say,
yeah,
throw the
and I mean,
fingers up in
and
the
this
air.
is not, and I don't think it should be an angry thing, because it's going to only mess up your life, and you're going to leave, and you're not going to come back to, you know, whether it be church or school or whatever it may be. But I think for that individual relationship, it's just, it's not going to work. And in wisdom, I think you need to kind of keep your distance and stay out of it.
So, Chris, I mean, we are approaching the end of the show, but can you give a half a minute advice to the people who are hurt? What do they do?
I think that and I like the expression you say where you call a spade, you know, and you say when someone says, I'm hurt, you can't say, well, you shouldn't be hurt. You should acknowledge their feelings as a compassionate friend. You should assure them that you want the best in this relationship. And going along with what my friend said here, where it's a little bit of a humbling thing, where you put your pride aside and you really put your ears to listen to what your friend is telling you. And, you know, if you don't understand their point, try to find their point. But to really put yourself in their shoes for a minute, although that's hard. That's my advice. And
Sarah?
Really just to put your pride aside and realize what you've done. If you feel like you've done something that could be hurtful, put yourself in the other person's shoes. If you did something that could be hurtful, then swallow your pride and apologize, and do it out of love. You know, do it out of love, that you want to show love to that person and make amends.
Marianne, a couple of words to the person, a friend of both.
A friend of
like the
both.
twist.
So Sarah and Chris are in fight. Sarah is, say, not humbling herself, and Chris doesn't want to talk about it. You are the friend of both.
First, to make sure that both friends want to be in this friendship. And if they truly want to be in this friendship, then whoever's being stubborn needs to humble themselves. They need to remember the love between them. And if it's, and I think it also still depends on the issue. If it's serious enough, then try to help them work through it and earn each other's forgiveness. But I think communication, just to helping them communicate, is the key to kind of ending that fight.
Great. You have a final thought?
You know, one thing really quick.
If we can understand you.
If you can interpret this here, the language of love.
Yes. Yeah.
And everyone speaks it differently.
Good point.
So trying to figure out the best way to get the message across, I think that can help in the apology.
I mean, there is a lot to be said about how to apologize. But apology is one of the nicest things in Christianity. Giving forgiveness and accepting forgiveness, both are so important. And arrogance, lack of humility, unfortunately, can take both away. Can make the person who's supposed to forgive does not, and the person who's supposed to apologize does not. So if you are the one who made the apology or the one who's supposed to accept the apology, humble yourself. Remember, Christ have humbled himself and forgave everyone, even the ones who do not even know what they did. Let us try to make peace, live in peace, and love each other, and not let the devil be in the midst. I hope you enjoyed our show today of Anything Goes. Until next time, have a blessed time, and thank you.